What's up, everyone? It's Pranav Sriraman here from the Wrightway Sports Network, and today we are going to break down who was snubbed from the All-Star game from each conference, which players should have made the All-Star game but didn't get in, and which players made the game but don't deserve to be there. So let's get right into it. We're going to start off with the Eastern Conference. For the Eastern Conference, there are 3 players who were selected for the reserves who I don't believe deserve to be in the game, and 3 players I would immediately put over them on the roster. Ben Simmons, Julius Randle, and Nikola Vucevic do not deserve to be in the All-Star game this year. They deserve to have their spots taken by Trae Young, Chris Middleton, and Bam Adebayo. Let us start off with Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton absolutely deserves to be an All-Star this year. Over each and every player I listed that made the team and doesn't deserve to be there, Chris Middleton deserves a spot over them, and here's why. Chris Middleton is having the best season of his career. That's undisputable. He is scoring a really respectable 22 points per 75 possessions, and he's doing it incredibly efficiently, shooting almost 50, 40, 90 splits this season. The main improvement in Chris Middleton's game that separates him from the past seasons is his improvement as a playmaker. As we can see in this play, Chris Middleton dribbles the ball up the court, and Josh Okogie is his defender, and Josh Okogie sticks with him. However, Jordan McLaughlin stays on him and leaves his defender cutting to the rim. That's how much gravity Chris Middleton possesses as a scorer. Chris Middleton possesses that gravity, which draws more defenders to him, which allows him to do 1 or 2 things as a playmaker. He can either pass it to an open Thanasis Antetokounmpo in the paint. However, he sees that Karl-Anthony Towns has dropped back to cover Thanasis Antetokounmpo, so what does he do? He passes it to Bobby Portis for the wide open 3. All fueled by Chris Middleton's lethal scoring gravity, which allows him to become such a great playmaker, which he's improved upon this season. Combined with that, he's also a very solid defender for this Milwaukee Bucks team. Some can say that his defense is bolstered by playing in a good system, but even then, he's a better defender than guys like Nikola Vucevic or guys like Julius Randle. Chris Middleton is a very good defender. He's a neutral, I would say, and his offensive value as a scorer and as a facilitator should make him a lock for the All-Star game. One can even argue that he should have been a starter. The next player we're going to get to is the one, the only, Ice Trae Young. Trae Young has been absolutely fantastic offensively this season, and I would argue that he should have been an all-star starter over Bradley Beal. Let me make that case right now. Trae Young is scoring at a similar rate than Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is scoring more points per 75 possessions, but Trae Young is scoring a respectable 27.8 points per 75 possessions and is doing it above league average efficiency, but here is a main separator. Trae Young is far superior as a playmaker than Bradley Beal, especially this season. He's second in shots created per 100 possessions, and he does it with his elite gravity from all spots on the floor. He draws so many defenders towards him as an on-ball playmaker and can read the passing lane so well that he looks to create for his teammates before getting his own shot, unlike Bradley Beal, who doesn't really possess that same ability. Trae Young is scoring at a high rate and efficiently, he's playmaking at a high level, and the defensive argument doesn't even exist because both of them are bad defenders. So for one, Trae Young should be a starter for All-Star this year, not just a reserve, but he's easily a lock for reserve over someone like Ben Simmons. Listen, Ben Simmons is far superior on the defensive end than Trae Young. I don't think anyone would dispute that at all. Trae Young is one of the worst defenders in the league. But when you take into account the total impact one has on each side of the court, Trae Young's impact on the offensive end is far superior than what Ben provides offensively and defensively. Let us start off with his defense. Ben Simmons is a great defender, like I just said, but he does not provide the high-level impact of guys like Anthony Davis, Rudy Gobert, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He does not provide elite-level help and elite rim protection on the inside, and although he is a great man-to-man defender, that will limit his impact on the defensive end. And offensively, he is great in transition, but his half-court offense is so limited because, I'm going to name it, he doesn't have a jump shot. And when you don't have a jump shot, that limits your gravity as a scorer. And when you have a limited scoring gravity, that limits the amount of defenders you attract. And you see where I'm going? The amount of defenders you attract leads to more people getting wide open and so on and so forth. So that is why Ben Simmons' impact on offense and defense does not match what Trae Young brings on the offensive side of the court. And that is why Trae Young should be an all-star easily over Ben Simmons. And I thought he should have been a starter this year as well. The last and final spot for the Eastern Conference reserves came between two players, but I elected to go with Bam Adebayo over Domantas Sabonis. Listen, Bam Adebayo has been extremely impactful on this Heat team, regardless of what their record suggests. Their offense is terrible without him on the floor, and so is their defense, especially their defense. Bam Adebayo is one of the best defenders in the world, especially with his interior force, and offensively, he has taken the next step as a scorer. We knew he was a good passing big man to start off, and we knew he could finish on the inside, but he's improved so much in terms of expanding his range as a versatile scorer. This year, he's shooting well above 40% from mid-range, while last year he was hovering in the 20s range. That is significant improvement, especially considering he is shooting the mid-range shot more frequently. So on more attempts, he's more efficient from mid-range, which is showing clear improvement in his offensive game from what he already once was, and last year he was an all-star lock. So Bam Adebayo should have made the All-Star team. I know you can argue for Sabonis because of scoring, his playmaking. He's almost like a mini Nikola Jokic, a Kmart brand Nikola Jokic. But what Bam Adebayo has done this year makes me believe that he deserves a spot on the 2021 NBA All-Star reserve. That concludes the Eastern Conference. Let's go to the West. Let us now get to the Wild Western Conference. There are two players who I believe should have made the All-Star team but didn't initially. I know that Devin Booker has now replaced Anthony Davis as an injured reserve, but it shouldn't have even gotten there. The two players are Devin Booker and Shea Gildas-Alexander, who should have taken the spots of Donovan Mitchell and Chris Paul during the 2021 All-Star reserves. Shea Gildas-Alexander's offensive improvement is undisputable. This season, he has taken the next jump in his game without Chris Paul and as the lead of the Thunder, and he has been absolutely fantastic. Some may say his scoring efficiency is not sustainable, but when we're basing an All-Star game, we are basing it off of what they've done to this point, and he has been absolutely fantastic. This season, he's only scoring 2 less points than Donovan Mitchell, who's a comparison right here. He's scoring 2 less points per 75 possessions, but he's doing it on far greater efficiency from every spot on the floor. He's shooting the 3 ball at a high rate. He's finishing at a high rate. And he's shooting free throws very well. And he's also improved drastically as a playmaker from last season, creating shots for his teammates at a frequent rate. One must keep this in mind when it comes to Shea Gildas-Alexander and Donovan Mitchell. Shea Gildas-Alexander is producing better offensively than Donovan Mitchell is, and he's producing better defensively than Donovan Mitchell is. And he's doing this in a situation which is worse space. Donovan Mitchell has one of the best space situations in the entire league that allows him to get a multitude of open shots, and he's doing it in a better defensive system that has a multitude of great perimeter defenders and the best rim protector in all of basketball, and the about to be three-time Defensive Player of the Year in Rudy Gobert, which covers up a lot of his flaws on that end. Shea is doing this in a worse situation, and he's playing better, so he should absolutely be an all-star over Donovan. Donovan is reaping the success of playing on a good team. He's a good player, but he does not deserve an all-star spot over Shea Gildas-Alexander. Finally, we've arrived in the heart of Phoenix, where Devin Booker was snubbed of an all-star appearance by his own teammate, Chris Paul. I don't even know how the NBA messed this up so badly, but Devin Booker was absolutely better than Chris Paul throughout the start of this season. Devin Booker is scoring at a more efficient rate, and he's scoring more points, and although Chris Paul has been creating more shots for his teammates for 100 possessions, Devin Booker, despite his slow start as a passer this season, has really picked it up as of late, and his on-ball playmaking has been phenomenal per usual. This play right here shows Devin Booker's exceptional playmaking ability and exceptional scoring gravity. As he's cutting to the rim with the ball in his hands, two defenders close in on him because they know that he's a threat to score from anywhere on the floor. And what can he do? He has two options. Either he could put up a contested layup over two defenders, or he could create an open look. He can manipulate the defense and create an open look for one of his teammates, and that's exactly what he does. He finds DeAndre Ayton wide open right next to him, tosses him the nice pass, and for the easy two. It's a full display of Devin Booker's exceptional playmaking combined with how his scoring gravity allows him to make such plays. That wraps up this All-Star Rant session. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to go follow me on Instagram at SportsWorldDebates. Make sure to go follow me on Twitter at Pranav Sriraman, and make sure to go subscribe to the TWSN YouTube for more great sports content. Thank you.